Hello and welcome back to the channel. I'm Relix, and today I have a small advanced wars match for you guys to see. The reason why I am putting this one out specifically is because it's a 4-base Fog of War match. If you guys have been with me for a while, you guys know that I don't really do Fog. Not my forte, that's for sure. But again, most of my games I play are public matches, and this guy definitely gave me a pretty good match. I'm not going to say he's like the best player either, but it was still an interesting one because of the fact that it was a 4-base plus an airport map. This is going to be the second ever 4-base map I've ever played in my life, or for the website at least. And the first time I did was quite interesting, so I wanted to try it again. And here we are. So it's a 4-base Fog of War. If you guys can see the map, there's HQs towards the middle of the map with 2 comm towers as well. So very contested middle section, and then the bases are pretty spread out across the bottom and the top of the maps. Now there still is a weak side, and that would probably be, for example, my right, which is I'm Yellow Comet. My bottom right is the weak side because those forests definitely block the movement for any vehicles, and then of course their weak side would be the top left. If you guys can also see in the top right corner of the screen, this is a no co-power match. It is a flak versus Kanbei match, but it's still no co-power, therefore it is a straight up even fight, and that makes things even more interesting. So it's a no co-power Fog of War 4-base map with an airport, comm towers, and everything. So it's definitely different than what I'm used to, for sure. This map is called 1v1. I'm gonna go with Gradre Valley. That's how I'm going to pronounce it, but either way, I like it. It's not a bad map. Now the only thing I have to argue about these kind of maps is, again, the labs. There's labs on the map on the sides. They don't play a part. There is no lab units, and I think that's kind of disappointing. I don't think I've ever played a match where a lab was actually used to give you units, unless it was a tournament. So to me, it's pretty stupid when maps use labs like this. I definitely think it should have been either another city, or in this case I guess you could say another comm tower, because I know everyone loves their comm towers, but I don't. So anything but the lab, But that's just my opinion, of course. I'm nitpicking about the map, but overall the map itself looks pretty good, and it actually played out pretty good. So let's get right into it. So let's see. First of all, let's do this. All right. So obviously, I'm going to skip through this a little bit quickly. Capture phase. So one thing to point out is 2 of the bases are not captured. You do have to capture both of your bases to make it so you have 4. We do agree, me and the other guy, by the way, who is YNSJ Lee. I don't know how you would pronounce that. Insigili. I don't know. In any case, Flak, in this case, he too also used the infantry from his weak side, just as my starting infantry did, and to go after the middle base. And of course, the other guy needs to go after that other neutral base. So we did the same exact moves as far as that is concerned, which is good to see that we opened with the exact same capture idea. So everything else will pretty much play much the same, I believe, for quite a few turns, because that's how you should capture. It's the most logical, obviously. So as you guys can see, we're moving out, going in the middle, gotta get those cities. Only infantry now, not much money. So he's moving towards his comm tower now. This is usually where things start taking a turn, is depending on whether or not people want to build certain vehicles. For example, this guy built 2 recons, 1 on each side, as well as, do you want to go for the comm tower or do you want to go for a city? In a Fog of War match, you never know where your opponent is going to be, so you don't know whether or not they want the income or they want the extra firepower. So obviously we're still going to go for the captures. I'm moving out. I'm skipping over this city as well, just so I can get out a little bit farther and start capturing these neutral cities. Just like him, I too build 2 infantry and 2 recons. Contrary to him though, he built 1 recon in each of the farther bases. I built mine in the 2 middle bases. Personally, the reason why I did that is because there are roads that we can use to get to the middle for this one. And then of course this one has the shoals, so he can move farther out, you know, through here, or even use these roads that lead to the HQ to get to the middle. Again, recons are mostly used for scouting, so it's not really like they're going to see huge combat, you know. So obviously he moves his recons out, keeps going with his captures, and he decides to just build infantry. That's it. So he does save up a little bit, and that's the question too about fort-based map. I don't know if you're supposed to base skip. You know, a lot of players say you shouldn't base skip in, you know, in a PvP, but in a fort base, you know, it could probably be viable in many circumstances, but we'll see. For the most part, I think I do try to stick to the base, no base skipping rule, but I do build the first tank, so because I do have the money for it, whereas he did not this past turn. Obviously, he probably will start building tanks this turn now. I have not looked at this replay after completing it, so I actually don't know what his build order was. So he did build a tank, and again, he built it out of the farther base. Now the reason why I also think this is also a mistake is because it has to travel. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It will be on the shoal. Whereas if you build out of here, it could go straight down the middle and then choose to go left or right and still be at the same position. Whereas if you have the infantry constantly coming out of the bases and crossing the river, they'll constantly be right in the action and get your captures going a lot faster too. As you guys can see, his infantry are kind of lagging behind compared to mine, who are now both up there in the front, and I'm going to keep reinforcing them this next turn. So that's just my thoughts on it, but he did get recons out one sitting on his HQ, watching all that, and then this one covers the comm tower and watches all this. He can hit all cities. So again, I go for the comm tower. Obviously I had nothing else to capture, so I might as well do it right now. He cannot actually interrupt this, so I will get my comm tower no matter what. I move my recon to the forest. Great positioning, I could see everything. I could even see that he has his recon there. Knowing that, I'm going to now move my tank to support my recon in the middle. So now it's in perfect position to cover both my recon and the cities as well. Now obviously, seeing that he has recons and thinking I have recons, I'm probably going to think, okay, he's probably going to build a tank soon, if not already. So I decided to go with Battlecopter, and again, no base skipping here as well. So he uses his recon to move and cover a city. Quite interesting maneuver. Now, I am assuming that he was doing that, he did the same thing on the left side as well, so he did both sides. I'm assuming he did that to see, pretty much just scout, not necessarily to, you know, engage or anything like that, but just to see what I have and see if he could see any units. Obviously, you guys can see that my tank is out of range, so he's probably thinking that I don't have a tank there, maybe. So he also builds a Battlecopter and more infantry, and he also built a tank this turn as well. So he did save up, and now he has that much money to build both and not base skip. So interesting now. I can see that he's capturing his comm tower and there's a middle city, but you know, I'm not really going to try and stop his captures as much as I can. I do want to kill that recon, it gives him a lot of vision, plus it's a free kill. Seeing that my recon can see some good stuff here, I see that he doesn't really have a vehicle, and if he has a tank, it's not really going to do anything. It shouldn't be able to reach me. So, free shot, free recon, that's already a heads up for me. And I can see his infantry are there as well. Yeah, I just keep moving up. My Battlecopter moves straight up as well. He cannot see it yet. I'm expecting him not to build an anti-air. Most people tend to forget that in Fog of War, Battlecopters could be quite deadly, because the only way to counter it is a Battlecopter or an anti-air. And you know, in a map like this where it's very widespread, your airport's in the opposite corner, you need to build anti-air. So that's what I'm planning to do now, or at least soon, is I'm going to build my own anti-air to counter his Battlecopters on this side. He should probably be expecting to do the same thing. But if you guys notice, I did base skip. I decided, okay, I see the recons, and he saw my tank, killed his recon. His ultimate response should be to build tanks, so I'm going to build tanks of my own. So recon moves in again. You can see things. Decides to attack my infantry on the mountain. Pretty dumb, to be honest. It's a losing engagement for him. But he is trying to gain more territory. He is capturing a little bit more. He even got the middle city right off the bat. I am too. So Battlecopter is now moving out. He did build an anti-air, and his tank's now in position to help his infantry. He even goes for a kill. Doesn't kill me though. In fact, very unlucky for him. So now it's my turn. I do believe, by the way, when I was playing this, I was again, this was another one of those public matches where we were playing semi-live. So it wasn't officially a live match, but I was watching the screen as we did each other's turns. I do believe he kept going out and then coming back, but I was watching this match as it played out. So I did see that this tank did go into this forest. So interestingly enough, by the way, I don't know if I was just tired or if I'm blind. This guy didn't capture the city, so I decided to just move straight up. I don't know what I was thinking, but that was quite interesting. So Battlecopter gets a nice shot on the recon, and interestingly enough, he did a damage back to me. Not sure if that was possible. So he got the higher end of the deal. This is the first engagement my Battlecopter got, and the counterattack damage was pretty high. And I'm like, wow, lucky. I was lucky. So I do use my infantry to help kill. Recon now protected, so I can see things. Knowing that the tank was there, and I have a Battlecopter, that means I knew he didn't have an anti-air right away. So I decided to, move my guys up, protect my recon. Tank can't actually attack me, and keeping this guy, I didn't move all the way up, or to the sides. I stayed right there, just out of range, so he can't see me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So his recon can't see me right now. I could do this. There you go. So he cannot see my tank. Therefore, he doesn't know that I have one yet, at least in that area. And on the right side, again, I'm also killing his units. Trying to see if there's another infantry in this forest. There isn't, but I am now blocking to, to protect the city guys. I do not know he has a Battlecopter, so this sucks because this tank and Battlecopter can take out my tank if he decides to attack. I don't have any means to actually counter it. So obviously that's part of the fog of war aspect where I should have thought about that a turn ago. So I now build my anti-air in the middle, but it's already a couple turns too late. I should have built it on the right side, and now the Battlecopter getting a free shot. Let's see what he does. His anti-air moves up. He moves into the forest. I don't know why he didn't attack, considering he can see the guy, right? Oh no, he couldn't. Okay, never mind. He couldn't see it. Never mind. So, yeah, he moves into the forest. Captures. You can see we're equal in capture, or he's going to take one extra capture right there, so he'll have a small capture lead. Sees my tank, hits it with the Battlecopter, uses his tank, and kills it. So now, as you guys can see, I'm totally defenseless. There's nothing I can do in this side. That is a blunder on my part. I didn't really think he would build a Battlecopter, so that's my fault. So now his infantry can move in and do whatever they want. There's nothing I can do about it. His tank moves back, and his recon takes the spot in the forest. I did see the tank move up, so I was thinking to myself, okay, well, he's got a Battlecopter and tank on this side. Surely, this turn he doesn't have an anti-air. That was my thought process. At least not yet. So, my turn rolls in, and I go in. I was like, okay, I got the advantage. I see the tank, and I hit it. Stupid me. There's an anti-air there, obviously. I should have knew If I was counting right, look, it's easy. Just 2 turns ago, boom, and then boom. So my copter's gonna die. And that's a huge blunder on my part. So now I lost a tank on the right, and now I'm gonna lose a battlecopter on the left. But I am going to keep pressing my attack, killing infantry. You guys can see I'm kind of dominating the left side, just like he's kind of dominating the right, but I do have a stronger foothold on the left side. I have more units still alive, and I also prevent his captures in the center as well. And again, this guy, he moves straight up, and I for some reason I am just not seeing this city. It is eluding me completely. I'm not even understanding why I'm not, capturing it. It's pretty funny. I'll tell you guys later that I didn't notice I didn't capture that city until I think the next turn. So because I have no more units here, but I have the cities, I decided to retreat a little bit, just so I could get my anti-air in range to protect my units. So now you guys can see that for the most part my anti-air can defend my vehicles, and it defends a few infantry, but unfortunately my whole right side's kind of defenseless right now. If he can see that I did not build the anti-air out of this base, which would put it right here this turn, then he would be able to attack for free. But I do build a Neo, so because I built that Neo I have to base skip again, but this Neo tank is going to give me a huge advantage, because obviously in Fog of War, you don't know what your opponent's building, therefore you don't know that it's even coming. And so how does one deal with it? By the time you have to deal with it, it's going to be too late. So I figure that was a good moment to pull out that tank. So anti-air moves in, kills my battlecopter. Let's take a real quick look at the stats. Oh, okay, never mind. We can't look at the stats because it does show the completed stuff. I do apologize if you guys saw that. But I do believe I am currently losing in far as vehicles, but not infantry. So it's going to keep moving in, killing my guys, attacking. Tank actually takes a shot at my recon. I'm not sure if he forgot my tank is there, but he does move his battlecopter back though, probably expecting that my anti-air is right here somewhere. So again, interrupting the capture on the left side, trying to do as much damage. Tank goes for repairs, and the center infantry attacks in retaliation. Builds an artillery, battlecopter, tank, and infantry. So another battlecopter. This artillery is quite interesting though, because he built it in the middle. Probably would have benefited him if he built it on one of the sides, because in the middle he has to travel a couple turns just to get into position, whereas if you build on the side, 1 turn and then 2 turn could defend this whole area as I'm making my push. Or on this side, same thing, here and then move down, and all of a sudden he can put up a defensive wall. So it's quite interesting he put it in the middle. So again, I'm mopping up his infantry. As I'm playing this, I do realize that I killed quite a bit of infantry. There's no way he should have more, and I clearly cannot see more. I had the vision going all the way to this one. So seeing that there's not any infantry, I was like, oh, this is a pretty good victory. I'm going to start capturing here, because he would have to use his vehicles to, get in close. I mean, look how much vision I have, and there's just no infantry there. It's a huge advantage for me. So on the right side, because I'm lacking forces, again, like I said, this is the weak side. I do decide to do Scourge Earth a little bit and try and hit his infantry as much as I can, because I don't want him capturing my properties. Unlike him, he's letting me capture his on the left. So again, my anti-air moves into a position where it could cover almost everybody. I probably should have moved it up just a little bit more, but also wanted to keep it out of range of this mountain, which is giving him so much vision. I mean, look at this thing. It's beautiful. So I built a couple more tanks and a couple more infantry. Again, keeping the infantry crossing these rivers, it's a lot faster, and using the vehicles through the center. So he interrupts the capture again. It is now 3. He would have to use his vehicles in order to stop that capture. So again, he's starting to mop up my infantry again, interrupting a cap. Sees the recon. Takes a one-shot at my recon. I don't know why that is. That's kind of interesting. He should... Yeah, he should be able to see my tank. I don't know why that is. I wonder if that's an error, obviously, on the replay. But he moves his battlecopter in, unaware that I have an anti-air. So there's a win for me. So he uses his tank, gets a shot on my tank. Not a big deal. I get his city. And again, my infantry are surviving. So as long as I don't die, you know, these guys can act like walls. So my turn. Tank moves in, get a nice juicy shot on his tank. I was hoping for that did a little bit more damage, considering I'm a fresh tank. So I did do straight up 4 damage. And he still did 2 damage, so higher end damage. Quite interesting. Can get a little bit lucky, right? Obviously killed Battlecopter. Big win for me on that department. Again, killing some infantry, doing as much damage as I can. Make sure my cities are covered so his tans can't straight up capture. He cannot see this nail tank. Even though this guy has the vision for it, he can't see into the woods. So he still doesn't know that I have a nail tank coming. Left side, I retreat my guys a little bit. Again, Scorched Earth, gotta make sure these guys can't capture the center. I'm not going to give up any straight up territory for him. And I build a few more tanks, because now I'm realizing, okay, he's got tanks, anti-air, tanks, and I just took care of a battlecopter. I need more tanks. Clearly, this left side is a little lackluster on the vehicle department. So I'm going to send up 1 tank here and 1 tank in the middle, probably go to left. Notice also I still haven't captured this middle city. I don't know what I'm doing here, but I do think I need to keep sending in tanks. So that's why I'm continuing to do that. I do believe on this next turn is when I actually realized I didn't capture it. Now whether or not I do something about that, I don't remember if I did or don't. So he's getting a lot of infantry kills. Oop, a lot of people died there. As you guys can see, I have no more infantry in that sector. But we do have a lot of full powered infantry on the sides. So that's pretty good. So unlike him, he has to go repair all his infantry, whereas I don't. Even on the right side, look, my guys are still pretty full power right now. His tank gets a tank hit. Kills it actually too with his other one. Quite interesting. Again, he kills it. I'm surprised he didn't actually target the anti-air as well, even just to hit it, because he still has a battlecopter, and unless he takes care of the anti-air, it's not gonna, you know, be good for him. But he moved in his battlecopter, and I was like, oh, is this my chance? I was watching this live. No, it's not. There's too many units in the way, and as you guys can see, I just don't have the force to deal with it. So at this point, literally at this point, I was thinking to myself, am I losing? Am I really losing? I was like, oh man, this is not good. He also built a T-copter this turn, so that's interesting. Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at this map, and I think to myself, I have a slight property advantage, but I don't know whether or not, you know, he has more units wait for me, because again, I didn't capture this city. So I'm like, okay, that's 1 city I'm missing. And then 2, I just got demolished going throughout the entire map. How many vehicles does he have? I don't know. Now my infantry are all dead here. I need to really reinforce that side. So knowing I can't get the battlecopter, I do hit an infantry. Now it's time to show my Neil tank. Boom, tank dead. Boom, tank dead. Now he has nothing, as far as I can see, to attack me. Boom, infantry dead. So I do go for the attack. I do want to move his vehicles away from the center so that these guys can just keep on mopping up the center. So I do send in my guys to attack his cities on the left side. I gotta pressure him now while my nail tank is going out there. So I do utilize all 5 of my unit production bases. recon, 2 infantry, tank. I build this infantry to go get that city. Finally. What day is this? This is now, that was on day 13 I did that. So there you go. Tank moves in, realizing he needs to stop the capture. Alright, good job. Also hits that capture. Alright, good job. Uses his anti-air, just throwing his anti-air right into the middle of the field. And hits a nice infantry. Uses his tank, found, I guess he saw my tank go onto that city. So that was a nice shot, obviously. Now he has full domination on that side, and there's nothing I can really do. This artillery is kind of out of position though. Clearly I can still hit these vehicles and, you know, get away with it. I don't know, I think he should have definitely moved it to like right here, because clearly I don't have the force to attack it. And even if the recon attacks it, or even the tank, it's not going to do as much damage. So I do think that was an error. T-Copter moves in. I don't know why he built this T-Copter, to be honest. This seems like a pretty big waste of 5,000 funds. Could have built another recon. He could have built maybe even a mech, like on the sides. I don't know. I think that's a huge waste, to be honest. But he is starting to capture my cities on the right side. Still putting the pressure on, killing my guys in the middle. Clearly my infantry count in the right side has diminished. I only got 2 left. That's pretty bad. So he builds a lot of infantry, and yeah, he saves up. So he has 8,900 funds saved up this turn. It's quite interesting. I don't know what he was thinking. Obviously, the biggest thing is he saw the Neo tank. He needs to respond to it. So next turn, he could build a super unit just like I did. But like I said a few turns ago, it's a little too late for that, because my Neo tank's already on the front lines. I've already killed a tank. Now what else can I do, right? So let's see. My tank moves in. I'm going to hit a tank. Nice juicy shot. I know the artillery is in there, so I don't need to worry about it. Anti-air. With my tanks and Neo tank here, I don't need to worry about my anti-air necessarily dying anymore. And now I kill on a recon. So I kill a 9 tank and a full recon. That's practically what, 11,000. Practically 11,000 funds. So now I can see everything. We killed more infantry. Definitely don't want to let him get that city, but I still have an extra turn. It has 11 capture right now, or 11 capture remaining, and he's a 9. So I have time. I see the artillery. I'm going to take a nice little hit at it, using both my tank and recon. And here comes my battlecopter and tank. So even if he stays here, even if, like, for example, he wants to hit this tank, my new tank and battlecopter come in, and they're going to mop the floor with them, so he can't really stay there. Interrupt my captures. I'm going to let him have this city, because there's just nothing I can do. I took his already, so there's no real point for me to keep it and risk all my troops if I don't have to. I need to keep my infantry alive, and that's why I was thinking, okay, maybe I pushed a little bit too hard on the left, and I lost a lot on the right. So he does get a kill on the tank. Unsuspectingly, he doesn't realize that I have a tank and battlecopter coming, although if he thinks about it, you know, my vehicles are definitely going to be coming in, and he gets me a prime position. Look, city attack on a tank, whether or not it was a battlecopter or a tank, it doesn't matter. You know, it's a pretty good shot for me. So in Fog of War, I also think to myself, you definitely want to kill units, because units like this tank, for example, that's a 1. It can run away and repair, or it can act as a wall, or it just gets extra vision for me, you know. And if I take their chance, look, I can kill that tank as well. Or even like this 2 recon. This 2 recon is going to be able to get me vision. You know, look how much I could already see. I could just move it up in the forest. He needs to spend 1 whole unit to move there next to me to find me, you know. So I always think you got to kill units if you want to win in Fog of War matches. So infantry came out of the base and is flying straight to the middle. I don't really know why he built that T-Copter. I really don't understand what the point of that was. To me, if you're going to build a T-Copter, you should use it to boost the sides. Like, it should have went straight down. What was that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 movement here, put it on the city. Boost infantry constantly coming out of that base. would have been a much better play than he went this way, then he went this way, and now he playing it backwards. I don't know. It just seems like a waste. So it's to retaliate against my Neo tank, he built a bomber and infantry. He didn't base skip on the infantry part. Alright, so now it's my turn. This is day 15, second half of day 15. Again, look how many things I can hit this turn. So obviously I gotta kill this anti-air because my battlecopter is coming in. So tank hits the anti-air, infantry go in to kill the artillery, perfect kill. Neo tank moves in, only kills an iron infantry, but I don't need it to be killing anything, and I don't see anything it can really hit. So I might as well get the full kill, move my tank back for repairs. New tank comes in, kills the tank, use my infantry, kills the infantry, kills the tank. Or not kills the tank, by the way, what the hell? I don't remember that not happening. 5 to 14% and I didn't kill it. What? It's a good thing I didn't use that one then, huh? Because if I did, I probably would have suicided. Battlecopter moves in, gets a nice juicy hit on his strongest tank there. Use my infantry to move in. I got a nice 2 damage, so even if his anti-air attacks my battlecopter, it will die in retaliation. And I think he'll do like 3 damage? 2 to 3 damage to my battlecopter. So it was definitely worth it. And I even used my infantry to attack his tank. So now you guys can see I clearly have the huge advantage on this side. All he has is vehicles, 0 infantry. The right side, yeah, he's going to get that 1 city, but I also have the pure dominant, forces on this side. All of his main vehicles are just kind of out. Look at this artillery. This artillery is just doing nothing out here. So now I can see that, look, he left his battlecopter in range of my anti. I could have killed it this turn, but, it doesn't really matter. So I build even more units. It's his turn now. What can he do? He's probably seeing this and he's like, oh man, I lost a lot of units. If you guys can clearly see, as first player, yes, he should be lower in funds or unit value, but he is clearly losing. If you guys count, if you or your opponent count the properties, you can clearly tell that I am dominating the properties. And again, look at this guy. I didn't even get that city yet. This entire match, I didn't get that city. This entire game, and I didn't get the city. That's crazy, right? So he's probably counting that one too. I have 23,000 if in that case, and he has 19, so he's losing in that department. His T-Copter is a waste. There's no strong vehicles to take care of the Neo tank as it's moving away from his bomber, and I still have anti-air. So he just does a couple moves, moves his bomber in. Again, the T-Copter moves in. I don't know what this guy was doing. That was probably the dumbest build of the entire game. Gets a kill on my tank. But again, I have my Neo tank to destroy him. Trap. And he resigns. So I won. Kills 29 to 26 deaths. Practically, it was just majority infantry that I lost. 19 infantry. Yes, I lost quite a bit of tanks, but it's not possible to keep all your guys alive, right? But I did kill quite a bit of his units. I think him losing out on some of his recons early on definitely bit him in the butt. Especially that first one I killed with the tank and recon the first engagement. That was a huge win for me. That's a whole recon. Not giving him vision on that right side gives me the edge, whereas my recon, for example, on the left side was still alive, and I was able to see everything that was going on here. Not just, even though I had the mountain too, I was able to see everything that was in this area right here. Whereas him, unless he was on the mountain, which I was actually dominating for a while, he could only see right here instead of the whole section. So I do think him losing that recon was kind of the match decision. But what also helped was for sure my Neo tank, my one Neo tank. If you guys know me, I love my Neo tanks. It's my favorite unit in Advanced Wars, so as soon as I get one out, I feel confident I'm going to win. And that's exactly what happened here. But, it was a fun map. It was a fun map for Fog of War. 4 bases. Quite the interesting match. I've never played more than just... This is my second 4-base match, so it's not like I have experience in it. But I do think it was a lot of fun. And base skipping, it's plausible, but in this case, definitely in a 4 versus 4 base match, I think you definitely want to keep spamming those infantry, especially to clog up the middle. And like I said, keeping the infantry up on their sides to cross those rivers is just much faster than if you do it in the middle. I mean, look, I did this whole match without capturing that one city in the middle. Like, that's pretty hilarious. So overall, good map, good match, and of course, like I said in the beginning of the match, not the best opponent. He wasn't exactly super strong, but you know, it's Fog of War. You never know what kind of opponent you're going to get, and for sure, there was actually a moment where I thought I was actually going to be losing, but once my Neo Tank got to the field, that's kind of GG. There's nothing he can do to stop me. He has to, he's going to lose the unit as long as I played it right, which I did. I killed a 9 tank, so he's going to lose the unit, and then he's going to realize, oh crap, there's a super unit on the field. Save up that turn, so that's 2 turns. Next turn he has to build that. That's 3 turns. Let's just say he built. Let's just say my Neo Tank's still on the side, right? He builds out this one. That's the 3rd turn. He builds it. 4th turn it moves out. 5th turn I'm probably going to move away, so he has to chase me. So it'll probably at least take him 6 to 7 turns before he can actually engage my Neo Tank. So by that point, it's kind of already over because you can't chase it and kill it. And all the while, my Neo Tank is still killing everything. So I definitely think that's kind of the biggest thing about Fog of War that I hate and love, is once you get that advantage, it's hard for your opponent to really come back unless it's like a lot more choke points and you can do a lot of artillery play. But this is one of those maps I just don't think artilleries are useful. Even in a Fog of War match, right? Artillery should be very useful, but there's just not enough terrain. There's too many plains and cities in the middle, and the roads too. Not enough terrain for your artilleries to take cover and hide. So at least that's my opinion. But overall, it's still a fun match. So thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this little Fog of War match. I know I'm talking a lot about the after effects, but you know, I just want to give you my thoughts and opinions on it. Let me know what you guys thought in the comment section down below. And then, of course, if you enjoyed this, hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel for more content like this and more. And, of course, I will see you guys in the next video. So have a great day, and I'll see you then. Bye-bye.